Now that you have your idea, let's get started on the outline. This can take a few minutes or a few days, depending on your creativity, depending on how much information you already have in your mind that you want to add to your outline. How do you get information for your children's book? Start with the age-old 5 W's. Who, what, when, where, and why. Each one of the 5 W's can be exactly one sentence. Now make some space to write beginning, middle, and the end. Add 3 to 5 sentences under beginning, middle, and end. When you fill this in, you'll be able to have a compare and contrast between this space for the beginning, middle, and end, and for the list of one sentence each for who, what, when, where, and why. Compare these two. Compare these two sources of information and begin to exclude what you do not want to use in this particular storyline and include what you do want for this particular storyline. The great thing about this is that after you're done including and excluding with X's, use some of the material that are marked with an X for your next book. I'm going to pause here and share something personal. When I was creating one of my children's books, it was a team effort, and I worked with my children to give me some material. Just tell me something at the top of your mind. And my twins, one of them said monster, and the other one said washing machine. Turns out, in that particular book, I created a monster, a washing machine monster. Now here's where we elaborate and get even more descriptive. Now we're going to focus on 3 of the 5 W's. Write down who, what, and why, and give some space between each. Now, under the who, begin to jot down some ideas on what your character looks like, smells like, tastes like, feels like, sounds like. Write down the height, the weight, the color, what is normal and what is abnormal about the characteristics of your main character. What is happening in this book? What is not happening here in this book? Complete those sentences and write it here. Under where? Under what? My apologies. If there's an enemy of progress, if there's a rival, if there's an enemy, write it here. Under what? If there's a lesson to be learned, if there's a moral to the story, write it here. Under what? Now, let's go on to the why. I'm going to come up with an idea. I'm going to say that my story is about a ice cream cone with 2 scoops of ice cream. They're both different flavors. One is orange sherbet and the second is vanilla. When I begin to describe who my character is or and who they are, as far as like what they look like, I begin to create in the child's mind what that looks like. I add the detail, I add the texture. I say that the vanilla is not a bright white, but it's more of an off-white, and if they're able to understand that, use your own words. And then there's specks of brown speckled all over the white flavor, and then the sherbet is a bright orange, and then the cone feels textured, and it's just like a wafer. It's a wafer, and then they want to go and reunite with another flavored cookie dough, and cookie dough is across the schoolyard, and these 2 flavors are in the cone on the other side of the schoolyard, and the sun is out and the cone is dripping, but it wants to reunite with the other cone, with the other flavor. And so they've got to stay away from the children in the schoolyard. So anything can be your main character, describe it. And when you begin to describe, those descriptions even help with the child who's reading the book to begin to relate more to the book. And also it helps for the illustrator in the future that's going to use these descriptors and create the images to match the text that you have chosen in the storyline. Simply put, in my example, the why is that the 2 scoops of ice cream want to be reunited with the 3rd scoop of ice cream. And how they go about it is all up to you in the dialogue that you choose, and take the reader on an adventure depending on the target audience. There you have it. Start off with that, and also conclude in the end on how, when, and where. With when, you can add a duration. You can add some suspense and say that all this has to be done before sundown. If it's an older book, it's still for children, but it's maybe considered young adults. You can use more material words, and you can also stretch out your storyline. Add more characters, add more, maybe 2 storylines at the same time. Be more descriptive on the details of the location. When you are done writing with your pen, your pencil, put it down, close your laptop, and read over your outline. Do you feel the suspense? Do you feel the awe? Are you just as cheerful as you want the readers to be? Are you just as delighted? Are you just as excited? Are you just as attached to the storyline as you want the readers to be? Read over it and narrate in your mind, or notate on paper what you're feeling as you go through your storyline. This is essential so that you can also first experience the emotion that you want the reader to feel. When you do this, you'll be able to increase or decrease in your storyline. You'll be able to take some out, you'll be able to add some in. And what you're adding are the words that inspire emotion in the reader. Read over your notes. After that, read over your notes. After that, refine and read over your notes. And then you'll have your storyline for your children's book. Enjoy. Thank you for coming to listen to me. I am a ghostwriter. I write children and children's books, novels, and memoirs. Contact me for any information, and I would love to hear any of your feedback, any of your questions down in the comments. Go ahead, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye.